Thank you very much, Deputy Presiding Officer, and I'd like to thank you for calling me a bit earlier because of the circumstances. But also I'd like to congratulate Neil Gray on securing this important debate and also welcome him to the Scottish Parliament. I also wish to put on record that I was a member of the Social Justice and Fairness Commission. I also like to apologise I do have to leave before the close of the debate. It certainly was a privilege to become a member of the Commission, and know that some discussions challenged the orthodoxy and also the tinkering at the edges that certainly is the easy thing to do. Now, thinking about the type of Scotland that we should all want to see should certainly bring us all together as a Parliament, but I know that it won't. The report offers a conversation starter to actually find consensus about the kind of Scotland we actually do want to build with independence and how best to get there. And the Commission certainly believed that with independence, Scotland can build on the foundations that have been laid under devolution by the Scottish Government. The report stated, and I quote, "We contend that eradicating poverty in Scotland is the single most important ambition that the Government of an independent Scotland could seek to achieve." And as Professor Philip Alston, the UN Special Rapporteur on Extreme Poverty and Human Rights, said, and I quote, "Devolved administrations have tried to mitigate the worst impacts of austerity, despite experiencing significant reductions in block grant funding and constitutional limits on their ability to raise revenue." He also went on to continue this. He said that mitigation comes at a price and is not sustainable. I think that particular comment answers the questions from Mr Kerr to Mr Gray a few moments ago. Mitigating against UK Government welfare reform and also Tory welfare policies prevents this Parliament and the Scottish Government from investing to make society better for everyone. And the SNP in Government has already introduced a range of progressive policies such as the baby box, as well as the game-changing poverty reduction measures such as the Scottish Child Payment and also Best Start grants. However, there is still more to do. And as Sharon Downey commented earlier on, and I do want to commend her on her comments about John Scott. John certainly was someone who was well thought of and well regarded across the chamber. As Sharon Dowie said earlier in her first speech, she got involved in politics to make a difference. And so did I, and so did every single member of this Parliament. However, being ambitious for Scotland and helping lift people out of poverty will not be done with the glass ceiling of devolution. It won't happen with one hand tied behind our backs. It will happen when we actually do have the full powers of independence. I do have to continue, I'm sorry, I normally would, but I do have to continue. Brexit and the pandemic have certainly had a major impact on all of our lives, and they will shape our country and our communities for decades to come. It's going to take decades to pay off the pandemic debt, but that's the same situation that the UK faced after World War II. However, this should not be a limit on the ambition for our people and also for our country. Now, my constituency has some of the most challenging statistics in Scotland. Now, these statistics are people, and I want my constituents to actually have a better future. This debate that this chamber has just heard this afternoon about a just transition actually ties in with this social justice report. If we want a socially just Scotland, if we want a fairer Scotland, if we want our communities to be more resilient, then read the report, consider the report, discuss the report and use it to engender more debate about Scotland and the type of Scotland we actually all want to see. Presiding Officer, the status quo is finishing, and a fair, independent Scotland is the prize that's coming, and it will be won. Thank you.